Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Church. I am so glad to see all of your smiling faces here this morning. This is a very special service today, I have to say, because our very own, we don't often call her this, Reverend Pam, is going to be in the pulpit this morning, giving us a wonderful message of hope and courage for the new year. So I am very excited to be helping present this service with Pam. My name is Elena Westbrook. I am one of your worship associates, and I want to welcome you, those of you who are here with us in person and those of you who are visiting with us through the wonders of technology. We feel like you're here and glad you could join us that way.
Okay. Welcome, who come in friendship, who long for genuine community.
May you be graciously received here as your authentic self.
Welcome, who come in curiosity, full of questions, or simply open.
May you embrace wonder and encounter new delights.
Welcome, who come heavy with fatigue, weary from the troubles of the world or the troubles of your particular life.
May you rest and be filled in this sacred space.
Welcome, who come with joy for flowing rivers and gentle breeze, for changing skies and great trees.
May the grace of the world leave a lasting imprint in you.
Welcome, who come with thanks for the altruism of the earth and the gift of human care.
May your grateful heart overflow and bless those around you.
Come, let us celebrate together this wondrous life.
In a world ravaged by violence and by hatred, by conflicts that can seem eternal and insoluble, sometimes the only thing we can do is just to be still for a moment, to remind ourselves what is real. The sun rose this morning. The dirt under our feet. Feel the air whispering in and out of our lungs. This hour, just try to be present in each moment as it unfolds. Your simple attention is what makes these moments holy. Our chalice lighting this morning is by Mary Sheldon, and the chalice will be lit by Annette Gibbs.
We cannot know what all the year may bring, and would we heed the prophecy if we could? Bright flame, awake, send forth your shining light beyond this year into the many coming. Show us the ways of love and help and care, of justice, mercy, and equality. Illuminate unto the generations. Show to the world a beacon of safe harbor. Help us to find the kindred warmth within us and among us to help make it so.
We come to this place as separate individuals. We may not have a creed in common, but we sit here as one community, bound together by a covenant, by a promise. Let us renew our covenant now and say together, love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. Our reading this morning is from Khalil Gibran. I would not exchange the sorrows of my heart for the joys of the multitude. And I would not have the tears that sadness makes to flow from my every part turn into laughter. I would that my life remain a tear and a smile. A tear to purify my heart and give me understanding of life's secret and hidden things. A smile to draw me nigh to the sons of my kind and to be a symbol of my glorification of the gods. A tear to unite me to those with broken heart. A smile to be a sign of my joy in existence. I would rather that I died in yearning and longing than that I live weary and despairing. I want the hunger for love and beauty to be in the depths of my spirit, for I have seen those who are satisfied the most wretched of people. I have heard the sigh of those in longing and yearning, and it is sweeter than the sweetest melody. With evening's coming, the flower folds her petals and sleeps, embracing her longing. At morning's approach, she opens her lips to meet the sun's kiss. The life of a flower is longing and fulfillment, a tear and a smile. The waters of the sea become vapor and rise and come together and are a cloud, and the cloud floats above the hills and valleys until it meets the gentle breeze and then falls weeping to the fields and joins with brooks and rivers to return to the sea, its home. The life of clouds is a parting and a meeting, a tear and a smile. And so does the spirit become separated from the greater spirit to move in the world of matter and pass as a cloud over the mountain of sorrow and the plains of joy to meet the breeze of death and return whence it came, to the ocean of love and beauty, to God.
I need to say a huge word of thanks to Elena, who I often refer to as my partner in crime. She is the liaison between the choir and the congregation, and as you well know, she often plays, she has done all the playing in my when I am not here, and of course she did all the slides for today, and crafted the service with such intention and love, and is a wonderful worship associate and friend, and I thank you for that, Elena. So our partnership in crime is reaching a new level today. So I love that. And thank you all for being here. I wish you a happy new year. And my question is, how are we doing on our resolutions? Did we make any? Did we set any goal? No. Did we set any goals or decide on a word or a theme to carry us through 2026? According to a recent issue of Newsweek, 4 out of the 6 most popular resolutions for this new year have to do with our physical well-being. Exercising more, eating better, generally improving our health, and losing weight. It's a common theme, isn't it, in the new year? Self-makeovers to become better, healthier versions of ourselves, and what better way than to start on January 1st so that the better, healthier versions of ourselves are firmly in place by December 31st, if not sooner. Gyms fill up, diet books fly off the shelves, and nutrition apps and trackers are purchased and downloaded. This is nothing new. This happens every year. In fact, the first diet book that was ever written originated in Italy in 1558. And it's still in print. It's called The Art of Living Long. And adherents to this plan were to have no more than 12 ounces of food, but this is the fun part, and 14 ounces of wine per day. Yeah, right? Yeah, let's try it. Make a pact. About half a century later, another diet book came out, and it was called The Fruits, Herbs, and Vegetables of Italy, and it laid the foundation for the ever-popular Mediterranean diet that we know of today. Fast forward a couple of hundred years and about 1,000 miles north to England, where Lord Byron, the renowned poet, was also well known for his attractiveness and his physique. He was probably the first, at least in that area, to popularize using vinegar as a weight loss tool, a popular practice still today in both liquid and pill form. What we do not see practiced today is a diet that was called Fletcherism, which was all the rage in early 20th century America. You were supposed to chew each mouthful of food 32 times or until it liquefied, whichever came first. And then you were supposed to spit it on the floor. Some diets have stood the test of time, while others have proven to be fads. But in this day and age, there seems like there's at least one diet for every pathway to better health that we can think of. You can go low carb, high fat with Atkins or keto, or you can go high carb, low fat with Pritikin or Ornish. And if you choose to do both at the same time, it would kind of be like driving southeast on Northwest Highway in Dallas. But there's one more recent development that has caught my attention, and it's the NOVA classification system. It puts foods into groups based on how much they've been chemically altered or supplemented with artificial additives like sweeteners and preservatives. Group 1 consists of unprocessed or minimally processed foods like fresh or frozen fruit and vegetables, eggs, nuts, beans, coffee, tea, meat that's been cut but not seasoned. You get the idea. Group 2 contains processed culinary ingredients like salt, fats, oils, sugar. And when you take food in group 1 and prepare it with something in group 2, the finished product lands in group 3. Processed foods. Foods like homemade bread, canned legumes, and vegetables that are preserved in vinegar or brine, salted peanuts, freshly made cheese, beer, wine, canned fish like sardines or tuna if you don't add preservatives. If you do add preservatives or chemically alter the food in one or more ways, you wind up in group 4 with ultra-processed foods, or UPFs. Commercially sold soda, energy drinks, ice cream, hot dogs, chicken nuggets, frozen dinners, cookies, candy, margarine, all the good stuff fall into the ultra-processed category. UPFs are visually attractive, readily available, very tasty, and easily stored for a long period of time. And while they're still called food, their purpose is not necessarily to give us all the nutrition we need for optimal health, but to provide us with convenient, attractive meal options so that we will buy them and become customers and consumers for life. The trouble is, the UPFs we consume have been handled and altered so much that it becomes a mere shadow of the whole food from which it was derived. Chemicals disguised as food. Stuff that harms us dressed up as the stuff that nourishes us. And it kind of makes you wonder, are there more things in our lives and in our world that we take part in thinking that they are helpful and necessary for our well-being that might end up being risky and even harmful for us? What about connection to our fellow human beings? Casual interactions, friendships, relationships, absolutely vital for our mental and emotional health. Not long ago, an innovation swept over the United States, promising, as their slogan said, real connections to actual friends. We know that innovation as Facebook. Some of us love it, some of us loathe it, and I imagine that some of us alternate between the two, depending on our news feed for that day. In 2006, Facebook was launched worldwide as a platform for social media, and it only took 5 years for it to have a mental illness named after it. FAD, Facebook Addiction Disorder. Low self-esteem, jealousy, narcissism were linked with spending large amounts of time each day perusing Facebook, not to mention the other controversies it has generated: privacy issues, political manipulation, mass surveillance. But when you look back at how Facebook developed, it makes a kind of sense. The first iteration was a platform called FaceMash that launched in 2004 at Harvard. Student ID pictures that were procured illegally from the school's security network were posted, and their fellow students were asked to rate them as hot or not. Yet, we still consume Facebook and other social media platforms in a quest to, as a more recent slogan promises, to be better connected with the pages and groups we care about. And when time is short and distance is great, sometimes a like or a quick comment or message comes in great handy and has many uses. And sometimes posting your status can be very cathartic and therapeutic. But while social media requires less vulnerability, it's not the same as a smile or a hug, is it? And when superficial connections start to overtake real relationships, we actually end up socially isolating ourselves. the very opposite result we were seeking when we signed up for Facebook in the first place. Something that has the capacity to harm us dressed up as something that nourishes us. In 2008, which incidentally happens to be the year I joined Facebook, a new musical called Passing Strange hit Broadway. Actually, it was part theater, part rock concert, but all confessional, told and sung by the main character and creative force behind the project, singer-songwriter Mark Stewart, better known professionally as Stu. Passing Strange is the story of a young black man searching for something authentic, something genuine, something that he calls the real, as he grows up in Los Angeles and then lives and travels around Europe. And as we find out through the course of the show, the real is something that transcends humanity, yet calls us back to ourselves and gives us meaning, connects the dots for us in a chaotic world. Now, the real is not to be confused with constructs, human-conceived and made ideas that, while useful to a certain point, they also can muddy our vision and understanding of what is truly important. There's a scene early in Act 1 that depicts Stu's struggle for the real in a world of constructs. He's a teenager, and his mother, after much cajoling, has talked him into accompanying her to their church one Sunday morning. Quite unexpectedly, while he listens to their preacher expound upon the mysteries of God and leads the congregation in a singing frenzy, he has a moment of clarity, an epiphany even, in which he finds a connection he hadn't understood before. Mama, he says, I can feel the Spirit, and it's real. Check it out. Reverend Jones is singing the blues, and what we're doing is call and response, and we brought it over from the motherland. Mama, we're just a tribe of bluesy Africans, and church ain't nothing but rock and roll. Horrified at his heretical outburst, his mother responds by slapping him hard across the face and demanding, are you trying to embarrass me in front of all these people? Do you want these people thinking I've raised a heathen? To which he replies, I'm not like you. I don't care what they think. His mother attempts to remind him of the lines so carefully drawn and reiterated by history and society by saying, don't you know the difference between the sacred and the profane? And he both innocently and wisely replies, I can't hear the difference. In our journey to understand life and our place in it, humanity and society have drawn lines and distinctions that have ordered us, shown us a way to proceed, and given us purpose, religion, nationality, politics, gender, education, all constructs. And sometimes these lines have grown into stumbling blocks and ultra-processed forms of the real we pursue. For Stu, in Passing Strange, The real turned out to be art and artistic expression, which he, as the young man, found out when he later crafted and performed Passing Strange, his autobiographical musical. And we find our real when our passion is ignited, whenever organic connections are made and life is understood as an adventure to be lived and explored, and not, as Shakespeare so eloquently put it, a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Maybe other words for the real could be holy, divine, spiritual. Former president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, Peter Morales, describes his own spirituality in this way. For me, it feels like connection. Connection to myself, to others around me, to the earth and all of creation. Connection to myself feels like deep peace, awareness, calm, authenticity. Connection to others feels like compassion, community, acceptance, and enduring love. Spirituality is not an idea, it's an experience. He continues, today the connection with creation, with the earth and the cosmos, may be the most difficult. We live in artificial controlled environments that separate us from the natural world. More than humans in any other time, we live separated from the natural world, the world from which we emerged and that sustains our lives. When epiphanies happen, when lines of division are erased and our neat little boxes of understanding expand, I think that's how we know something is real. Real like the princess who wore a paper bag, outwitted a dragon and dumped the prince who was only interested in an ultra-processed life of appearances and protocol. Real like the food from the earth that nourishes our bodies and helps our vital organs function, rather than chemical creations that taste good, but offer little benefit beyond that. Real like a slumber party with popcorn and pillow fights, rather than a Facebook group for people that like popcorn and pillow fights. Or as Elena reminded us in the call to worship, which are her own words, which she crafted and wrote, real is the sun that rose this morning, the dirt under our feet, the air whispering in and out of our lungs and being present in each moment as it unfolds. Real like tears and smiles, longing and fulfillment, water, vapor, clouds, love and beauty. Real like telling our stories from deep inside, listening with a loving mind, and hearing our voices in each other's words. Real. Connection. Spirituality. Holiness. Religion has been a source of hope and meaning and inspiration for many people, but it also can be a source of pain and confusion and oppression for others. And perhaps a real solution is to continue to fight for the separation of church and state, so that no one is coerced or forced to adhere to beliefs that are not their own. National boundaries, while useful in organizing society, culture, and governance, can be harmful when countries are pitted against each other for the sake of politics or economics. Perhaps the beginning of a real solution would be to remember and honor our common humanity, and to also remember that some military strikes, while packaged as necessary for national security, are nothing more than terrorism, born out of greed, cruelty, or a necessity for distraction. Underneath our skin, we are quite similar, despite our constructed differences. As Shylock compares himself and his fellow Jews to Christians in The Merchant of Venice, if you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And speaking of physiological similarities, instead of our state government telling everyone what bathroom to use, perhaps a real solution that keeps us moving forward might be for all public buildings to provide more than 2 options. And those are big societal issues. But the real is for individuals too. And I ask you on the first Sunday of 2026, what is your real? What is most essential? Essential as breath, essential as water to your life? What wakes your senses, your reason for being, your compassion? What will you lean into this year to be more authentic and less ultra-processed by the constructs of the world? It might take some thinking and some doing and some exploring to know what that is. But I wish it for you in this new year, so together we can celebrate our combined realities. May it be so. As our worship time this morning draws to a close, it is now time to extinguish our chalice. Please join me now in reciting these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. According to theater critic Judith Newmark, authenticity is hard won, and it can take a lifetime. Indeed. But we have nature and creation to connect with, and we have each other and all the gifts and experience that each of us brings. Now receive this benediction. As we leave this hallowed place, may our feet remember its feel, so that wherever we walk, we know ourselves to be on hallowed ground. May we know that we are kin with every soul, every star, every stone and leaf of grass. And may our words be gentle and our touch be kind. Amen, and blessed be.